Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host as always, Jonathan Giles. On the show this week, we'll be reviewing our 2-1 home success over Gary O'Neill's Wolves. Also on the show, we'll be giving our goal and player of the month. So sit back and enjoy the show. On the show this week, I'm joined by my regular guests, Eamonn Donnelly. How are you, pal?
I don't know there, Jonathan. Good afternoon, Matt. Saw you yesterday there. I have a really bad cold on me. I took a junior discipline there. He sounds like a Brazilian centre forward. I'm all right, but I'm. It's the only thing I can do to keep myself spirits. I came down. I got a COVID shot and a flu jab on Friday. And I was on the train in from Stansted to Tottenham, and I just got a deluge of a bad dose or something. But here I am. This is commitment. I want to note my commitment to the cause to come on this show today. So we won't let the thousands of viewers that we have down, you know.
As always, Eamonn being smart before we've even kicked off. The handful of listeners, it is very much appreciated, your dedication to the cause. I'd also like to welcome back Matt Bourne. How are you, Matt?
Hey, Jonathan. How are you, pal? You well?
Did you enjoy that delay in your flight?
I did not enjoy that delay in my flight. And I'll be giving man of the match to Brendan, by the way, for getting us home. Fair play to him. He took the drunk Irish men home last night, which was great. You know?
Brendan Boyle?
Brendan, yeah. Brendan lives out my way now, so it was handy for him.
He charged you for the diesel, man.
Yeah. I did offer, but no, fair play to Brendan. Fair play to him. Yeah.
I had the beautiful experience of sharing a complete trip home and a taxi with none other than Johnny Gugu. You know.
Oh,
so
God. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I got the phone call off Johnny when we were in the queue for the plane last night. Asking where he was. So he was still up at 1:30 in the morning. Anyway, checking in on us, you know.
It's good to have you on, Matt. And
cheers, mate. Thanks.
And both these lads were at the match yesterday, so I'm really looking forward to your views on the game. Before we kick off, just like to say thank you to everyone who donated to our chosen charities in November. Movember.com for Martin Stumble. Mm-hmm. And Breakthrough Cancer Research.ie for myself. 110k I done over. It was a 90k challenge, so I was happy enough to get over that. And Martin is growing a nice tash, so hopefully he keeps that on up to the Christmas party. You'll be happy. Just a day for the diary, actually, as I mentioned that. The Dublin Arsenal Xmas party is on December the 17th at 1 p.m. in the River Bar. It will be for the Arsenal v Brighton game. That's a 2:00 kickoff, so looking forward to that one. Just before we kick off as well, the FA Cup third round draw was done earlier this afternoon, and we will play Liverpool at home. That will be the week commencing of January 5th to 8th, so that's Liverpool out of another cup competition. we will eat our words come that weekend, sure. But that's before we go on to the Wolves game, lads, what do you make of that FA Cup tie, Eamonn?
I don't make anything of it, Jonathan. It's next year. We've got like about 5 or 6 games before that. It's something we consider near at the time. You know, it depends on where both teams are after coming out of Christmas and what they put out on the day and their approach to the competition. But we'll know more near the time. You know.
Yeah,
it's as bad a draw for them, if not worse, than it is for us. You know.
Yeah, true. You looking forward to that one yourself, Matt? Another cracker?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's like any competition. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So let's let's get Liverpool out of the way early on, get a nice easy draw in the 4th round, and move on from there. You know. Now, we got the home tie as well. We'll have the crowd behind us, and we will have played them only 2 weeks earlier, I suppose, in Anfield. So we'll get a taste of how we're going to compete, I suppose, that day. But no, I'm happy with the draw. It's the FA Cup. It's our competition. We've won it more than anybody else. So, you know, we've got to be up for it.
Yeah, it is our competition. Yeah, another cracker. Of a tie. To start it off. And the same, it says there's 5 or 6 big games before then, so we know then, of course. We'll kick into our review, lads, of the game from yesterday. 2-1 against Wolves. Bukayo Saka after 6 minutes, and Martin Odegaard after 13. Matthias Cunha in the 86th minute got one back for the Wolves. I thought for the 2 goals, I only saw the highlights because I was in work sadly yesterday, but the 2 goals, the build-up play was brilliant. The one-touch football, really excellent, particularly the Martin Odegaard one. The Zinchenko pass to him and the way he took it, and he's on fire at the moment, Odegaard. The goal he's got against RC Lens as well in midweek, he's starting to a bit of a confidence booster for him. And Eden as well as captain. Jose Sal went off for Wolves in the first half when Daniel Bentley came on. Gabriel Martinelli hit the post in the first half from the corner effort. They came back out to Declan Rice, but he dragged it wide. But another really good build-up play for that one. In terms of the second half, then what I have here, lads, Bukayo Saka hit the crossbar from an excellent shot, and Eddie Nketiah hit the post then later in the second half, which he's unlucky not to score. Matthias Cunha's goal for Wolves was quite nice. David Ray hadn't a chance at all to do it, but I think it leaves us first in the table, 33 points. Had a City, most importantly. I thought Declan Rice had another super game for us. But I thought from the 6-0 results in midweek against Lens, I think we've kick-started our season now. It's that result against Lens, it was just the kick we needed. And yesterday we just blitzed them in the first half. Probably could add a bit more in the second, maybe. Probably took our foot off the gas, maybe. But with Luton coming up on Tuesday night, that's another big game as well. I'll come to you, Eamon. You was both at the match. What was your view on the match?
Well, I thought we were outstanding, and the group was really bonded. Now I'm talking about the group of us in the King's Head. I just want to remark on that, Jonathan, before I start on the football. I've noticed that the trips that were going on these days, that because the Arsenal have got us all excited, the actual bonding among the group that's going has been terrific. I don't know about you, Matt. I mean, It was a day when planes were awkward because of the weather. Trains were on strike some of the time. It was one of those days where the conspiratorial gods were against us at every hand's turn. Even the tube went down when I was waiting for somebody. I met Mark coming out of Finsbury Park. But nonetheless, leave aside delays and all that. We had a great day at the game in great company. I think that's a regular feature of the way it's been under this exciting Arsenal team. On the football itself, I thought it was very similar to the Nottingham Forest game at the start of the season, only better. So in other words, Wolves gave it to us so easy for the first half. But where we were better today than we had been on the first day of the season was we carved them open a lot more, and we moved the ball a lot quicker. But I did turn around to Matt on one side of me and Carl Cairns is on the other side of me. And I did say after 20 minutes, our biggest challenge now is we've had it so easy. See, we didn't have to compete any duels to win the ball in the first 20 minutes. They gave it to us. And it's not complacency or, taking your foot off the gas. It's kind of psychological. When you have it that easy and then a team steps up to play, you haven't really warmed yourself into the game other than doing everything on your own terms. And when a team steps up to play, particularly when you've gained the 2-0 lead, it's very difficult just to switch it on,
Yeah.
But all told, it was tougher at the end than it should have been because it should have been about 6, And I was really impressed with the way we got about it. I can understand, as I said, when a team steps up. And by the way, Wolves are no mugs. He has them coached very well. And when they decided to give us the ball early doors, they probably decided, we'll do that. We'll hope that they don't break us down. And then at a certain point in time, we'll start stepping into the midfield. And while they weren't doing a really high press they were pressing just beyond the halfway line and making it difficult for us to play through. I thought we coped well enough with it. Zinchenko was there was something going to happen to him all day. He was just defensively, you know. You've got to take bits of that with Zinchenko because he's so good at making things happen for us.
Yeah,
and he can't do everything. But I wish we could eke out the bit where you say, okay, Alex, you know, not across your own box. This is basic stuff, you know. I mean, if he just lofts that ball 20 meters into space, nothing happens. There's no kind of tense ending to the game. Although I wasn't looking at the clock the way I'd normally be if the Arsenal were 1-0. We were comfortable, even at 2-1, you know. But I just wish that Zinchenko could just get that little small thing out of his game. But that being said, I mean, Gabriel Jesus should have helped himself to 2 goals. Martinelli was really unlucky. I mean, that ball has gone in all day. I don't know. There must have been. It reminded me of that golfing film in the 90s, Caddyshack. It was like somebody came up out of the ground and waved it onto the post. It was probably Mike Dean. Mike Dean is actually taking a job as a mole under our pitch. So Trossard could have done a lot better when he was put through. Not on the one that he took a beautiful touchdown. That was a good save, but on the one in the second half. And with the exception of Bukayo Saka, of all guys I wanted out of our team to be in the position, it would have been Eddie. Because that's normally his forte, putting that away. He just misjudged it slightly and hit the post. And, you know, we really could have been... Wolves couldn't have complained yesterday if we'd have won that game 4-5. You know? Trossard was excellent as well. I was encouraged by Declan. And I might have said this to you in the King's Head afterwards, Matt, that he took a lot more ball on the half turn from the goalkeeper. And it's something I've been saying for a long time. I think we got from right to left a lot quicker, which is something I've also been saying. Even if you look at the second goal, Bukayo decides to go down the outside and cross it, right? And I think he knew that even if the cross misses out, we had an army of players in position to retrieve it. And the 1-2 and cutback from Zinchenko was exquisite, and the finish from Odegaard. So really, you know, as I said, it was tougher than it should have been. It was a strange old day because it was so cold. I don't remember going to a game. It was actually like something out of Sherlock Holmes on the way down, Hound of the Baskervilles. The fog, it was freezing in front of us, and it was hard to get warmed up. But look, another 3 points, all that matters. Sometimes you walk away from games like that with regrets that we didn't knock up 5 or 6. But look, it was all about the 3 points, and we got them, and it was reasonably good stuff.
Who stood out for your man of the match?
Odegaard ran the game. Odegaard was like he was like Leonardo da Vinci yesterday. He was painting the game, you know. He was brilliant, you know.
Yeah, he's really from the Lens game as well. He was excellent in that one as well. 2-1 against Wolves. Yeah, you can't beat that. Matt, you were also at the game. What was your view of the match yourself?
Yeah, very, very similar to Eamonn's. You know, in relation to the game, we came out of traps very, very quickly, which was great to see. You know, we went at them from the first minute, and they did. They gave us. I suppose they gave us too much respect, and they like Wolves are a good side. You know, people need to remember, like, this is a bloody good side who've been done by some very bad decisions this season as well. You know, we're not going to get into the VAR debate, but they've really suffered. They've really suffered this season, so you do feel for them. You know, I always say, I thought I was saying to the people beside me, it'll be 4-0 at half time. The way we were playing, we were just electric. You know, the movement was fantastic. We were making space. We were getting into great positions and everything else. You know, tapping the ball around brilliantly. Didn't give them a chance. But in fairness to them, you know, they were resilient enough. They came back into it a bit in the second half. We had plenty of chances to kill them off completely. Like Eamon was saying, if it was 4 or 5-1, they couldn't have complained, you know. But look, for me, I'm always tense when they get the late goal. You know, there's always that 2-1 feeling. You're going, oh Jesus, here we go, Fulham again. You know, And I always feel tense, you know, but I think the referee added on an extra couple of minutes as well at the end of the 7-2, you know. Yeah, so it was look, very happy with the 3 points. That's all that matters at the end of the day. All you want is the 3 points. Doesn't matter about anything else. Puts us 4 points clear. City have a relatively tough outing this weekend as well. As far as I'm aware, Liverpool, certainly last time I checked, they were at 2-2 with Fulham.
2-2, yeah, it's the stands, Matt, yeah.
Yeah, it's still 2-2. So we need these, we need other results to, not to help us. All we can do is help ourselves. We just got to keep on doing what we're doing. Well, we got to keep on winning. I watched Rice yesterday because I think he is literally the closest player we have had to Vieira since Vieira. I mean, Vieira, you know, he has the longest fucking legs, you know, in the midfield there. You know, the ball could be, it seems like 20 feet away from him, and he'll get his foot to it. You know, he's absolutely fantastic. He absolutely runs that midfield brilliantly. You know, I was skeptical of Rice when he joined. I wasn't skeptical of him as a player. I was skeptical of the transfer fee and how he spent 100 million on a player. But Jesus Christ, he is worth every penny of that 100 million. Every penny.
What,
you know?
what is he, in your opinion, Matt? I'll come to you as well, Eamon. What has Declan Rice brought to the midfield that's been different over the years?
Well, what I said to you, you know, Vieira, like he is playing like Vieira used to play for us. He gives us what Vieira gave us for all them years through the good times, you know, and he could be the link there in the midfield that actually, you know, makes the difference from last season. You know, I mean, obviously we lost Xhaka. Maybe him and Xhaka in the midfield could have been phenomenal, but maybe he wouldn't play in the same way if Xhaka was there too. You know, he's just given us something different. He's made that midfield his own. Every single game he has played, he's at least an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Every game. You know, there's no doubt about it. He's absolutely fantastic, and he's made a real big difference to the midfield. It's just great to have him there. You know, being an Irishman as well. You know.
Yeah, he's easily turned.
Sort of Irishman, but no. Listen, very happy with the 3 points. That's all I ever want is 3 points at the end of the day. No matter how we do it, you want the 3 points. And in another day we could have scored 4 or 5. We only scored 2. But no, very, very happy at the end of it. Very happy.
Who was your man of the match yourself, Matt?
Well, I was saying Rice, but I can see where Eamon's coming from with Odegaard as well. But I'm going to give it to Rice myself. Odegaard was phenomenal as well. You know, the bit of interchange for his goal as well was phenomenal. Great to watch. We were right down that end as well, so we got to see it. We got to see the 2 goals, which is great. Right in front of us, and but I'm going to go with Rice, but very, very close between him and Odegaard for sure. There's a lot of very good performances out there yesterday as well. Some not so great performances, but listen, we got what we needed. We got the 3 points. That's it.
Yeah, bring you back in at that point, Eamon. In your opinion, what's Declan Rice brought to the midfield that we've been lacking?
Well, you see, that's a kind of a complex question because you have to take into account that the opposition are playing differently than they were against us last season. I mean, Granit Xhaka was a shout last year for our player of the season. He was that good. But he's a different type of player, Granit. We finally found Granit's proper position last season. And where Granit was better than Declan is the ball on the inside of the fullback. He was brilliant at that, you know, but that's because he's got a natural left foot in him and he's out on that side. So it's easier to do that. Declan doesn't have that. No, he just doesn't have it. Now, you know, he has lots of other things. But I tell you what he has, and Matt is absolutely on the money. He gives you drive. He gives you drive. In the same way, when we were sitting deep against teams when we had that great team 20 years ago, Paddy would win the ball back. And within 3 or 4 strides, he turned the game around and we were on the attack. Because of those long legs. Declan gives you that. We didn't have anybody as athletic as Declan. And the other thing he gives us, that I'm very, very pleasantly surprised about, his game smarts are unbelievable. His idea and understanding of where to be at a moment in time is up there with the very, very best. That's what he gives us. You know?
We had that conversation actually yesterday in the King's Head, and Johnny was saying that Rice, and I described it, he's like a snooker player. He's always wondering what his next move is after this move, So he's always finding that the next position he needs to be in.
His picture in his mind.
He's got amazing knowledge of the game, and that's crucial for it's fair play to him. There's not all footballers who do that. A lot of footballers go out and earn their 150 or 200 grand a week and just put their shift in. He studies the game, and he knows exactly what his next move is going to be all the time. It's fantastic to have it. It's absolutely fantastic trait to have, So listen, if we're successful this year, if we can go all the way and maybe pull a trophy out of the bag or whatever, he'll be a massive part of it. Massive part of it.
I was at the game last year, lads. It was on Stephen's Day when we played West Ham. It's only when you're at a match in the stadium you appreciate how good a player actually is, And he was all over that midfield for West Ham. He was by far the standout player, and he just seems to have.
Well, he was busy signing for us around that time. I told you all. I mean, I told you all. That when there was a meltdown during the summer, that Declan Rice was signing for Arsenal. It was never going to be any other way. That deal was done last December.
Yeah.
And those in the know at West Ham knew that.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And it's only that you referenced that game last Stephen's Day. One of us, I can't remember whether it was yourself, Matt. One of us was talking about that yesterday, and somebody said to me that he knew somebody very, very well connected with West Ham, and it was at that game. It was at that game that they said, "Well, he's off to the Arsenal next season."
Yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I secretly got it. Yeah, he's a class act, but he just seems to he settled in so well, so seamlessly as well. It's like he's been playing for us for years, for a price tag of that price tag. I mean, when you compared him to what a disaster Pepe was for a big fee, when you compare the two, and the effort he puts in, and he's loving to play. The fans have really grown to him as well, and every time you can see the passion in his face as well. He always comes off with a smile on his face, doesn't he? Yeah, long may he continue for the rest of the season. That game leaves us top with 33 points, lads, as I said at the start, and it leads us into Luton Town on Tuesday. 8:15 kickoff on Amazon Prime, but it'll be on Premier Sports here for us. Matt, I was looking at Luton against Brentford myself on the telly. They've 9 points, but I don't think that really tells the whole story. I think out of the 3 teams that have come up, I feel Luton could be the team that could be the one that could stay up out of 3. Rob Edwards has them. Neil Lennon made a good point yesterday. They stay in the game to the very end, even if they're behind. They have this determination to try and get one back, and I think one outstanding player is our very own Benny. I think he terrorises defenders, through his pace and his effort. But what would your take be on the game? It's away to Luton. You'd only see a victory for ourselves, but it's hard to call, isn't it? Like there's no easy game in the Premier League.
They got a good result a couple of weeks ago against Liverpool. I think they got a 2-2 draw against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Or 1-1, was it 1-1?
Yeah.
1-1. Listen, I don't see anything other than an Arsenal win. I can't see anything other than an Arsenal win. We're a better side. We have to be beating teams like Luton Town away from home. And at home, we have to be beating them. And you say it doesn't really tell the story, but 9 points tells the story to me. They're just like, yes,
they're not being hammered in games. They're losing by.
No, they're absolutely not. They're absolutely not. But like as far as I'm concerned, I don't see them staying in the Premier League. I don't see any of the 3 who came up last year staying in the Premier League, So I think they'll go straight back down. I've no doubt that they're going to fight like they, like all of, it was Burnley came out yesterday and put 5 past Sheffield United as well, but no, we've got to be beating them. If we can't go away and beat Luton Town, then we can't go and win a title. We've got to beat these sides. We've got to absolutely go into that game, put a full team out, put our best 11 out, and take the points home. We have to do it. Like I say, 9 points after 13 games, 14 games is not a good total. It's really not. And regardless of being hard done by or decisions going against them or not deserving to lose some of the games and that they have lost them. So we've got to go there. We've got to take the 3 points. Simple as that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good point as well.
I think we will.
It's a championship team. They still have there, isn't it? For Berkeley and a few players they signed. Yeah. Eamonn, how do you see the game going at Kenilworth? It's one of those old school grounds, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one, Jonathan, because they only have 9 points, but they only had one after 6 games, so they've improved quite a lot. And I watched the entire Luton-Liverpool game, and they're very athletic on the counter attack.
Yeah.
And they created a lot of chances for themselves that day. And it was only, I think Liverpool got one in injury time or thereabouts, but they're very, very athletic. But you see, it depends. If anybody thinks that we're going to go there and own the ball and carve them open, that's not the way they're going to play. I think it'll be similar to Brentford, You'd hope that we can impose ourselves on them a little bit more, with a little bit more outcome than we did against Brentford. Because against Brentford, we totally controlled the game, but there wasn't very much in the way of outcome. I think Luton are more dangerous than Brentford on the counter. But again, Matt's right. Like, you've got to be going to these games and you've got to be saying, well, we're going here to get 3 points. We don't expect anything different. But it comes with the caveat. And this is where the Arsenal have been very good this season. You have to be on it. And we have been on it. Like, we mightn't be the kind of Roman candle firework that we were at the first half of last season.
Yeah.
But we're a lot more controlled.
Yeah.
So if we're on it and we're controlled, we win the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless they bring Mike Day now retirement.
Anything's possible. No, absolutely. Hats off to Rob Edwards. So he is doing it pretty, for what he's got there. They're putting the effort in, and as Eamonn said, they are very athletic, aren't they? That's one thing I've noticed. Yeah, they're big lads. Yeah. What have you made, Eamonn, briefly of Benny? Have you, from what you've seen?
I think Benny's a smashing player.
Yeah,
he's got electric pace and he's direct. He's probably not got the best end product I've ever seen at this point, but he's a terrific player. I just want to go back to one other player that really caught the eye yesterday, and I hope it was just tiredness. Tomiyasu was really good yesterday.
Yeah.
And I mean, there you go, all this Ramsdale, Raya stuff. If you look at what Ben White has done over the last 2.5 seasons at right full, or 2 seasons, season and a half, since he started at right full.
Yeah.
And you say now, I think Tomiyasu is after getting ahead of him in the pecking order.
Yeah.
That is every bit as harsh as Aaron Ramsdale does in his place.
Yeah. You're right. But Tomiyasu, appears to get injured every 5 or 6 games.
Yeah.
So there's going to be room for the two of them to be chop and change. I think that's what he'll do ultimately. I think he'll chop and change them for different games and that. I think they both get good run-outs this season. I didn't give Tomiyasu a
The reporter on The Observer this morning, you see the research we do for this show, even in my sickbed. I was like Grandpa Joe in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory this morning trying to get out of bed. But I was looking for Charlie Bucket. But come here, the reporter in The Observer said that Tomiyasu is capable of single-handedly closing down an opposition flank.
Yeah.
His positional sense and his understanding of one-on-ones is that good,
Yeah, he's exceptional. He's absolutely exceptional. Whenever he's come in, he's put in a fantastic shift. Always, he's another 8 out of 10 player when he plays. Every game without a doubt. But so is Ben White, and
that's the point. Ben White again has been absolutely outstanding, right? Yeah. But I think that in real time, that Tomiyasu was probably just slightly. And I'm not saying on merit. I'm just saying in the manager's mind has kind of jumped ahead of him, and that's really harsh on Ben White. But hey, if you look at Man City, the way they picked that team, it's ruthless.
Yeah. I know. So when Timber's shown signs of coming back relatively soon as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Oh, he won't be back. I don't think you'll see him this season. Be honest with you.
Think?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It'll be interesting to see what happens now when Timber does come back. You know, you're going to have, Tommy can play on the left as well. You've got Zinchenko in there who's made that position his own. But when you say Zinchenko's a left back, he's kind of a left back / right winger / midfielder. You know,
keep an eye on that Polish lad.
Yeah, QR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was very good actually against Lens. Actually,
they're all very good. All the defenders we have now are really, really good.
But isn't it great though, lads? When you're trying to decide a man of the match, they're nearly all 8 out of 10, aren't they? Like that's the 11 and the players that come on are they're all. There's very few that you'd ever point out that has a bad game.
Everybody was saying. Everybody's now saying. We need a centre forward, right? To bring goals into the team. I understand that, but what does that tell you? Nobody's saying we need another centre half. Nobody's saying we need another fullback. He has addressed that, and he's tried to build that team unit by unit. I think we're a small bit short in the middle of the park still, we could do with another striker, but certainly the defence to me looks like we've got the 6 or 7 guys we need.
We've got the defence has been the question over the last few years, wasn't it? But we've
only conceded in the 6 away games 3 goals.
Yeah, we've been really good away, haven't we, this season? We have, we've been really good away, and long may it continue, lads. You were on a nice winning streak. Just want to go to briefly go to Swansea 6-0 home win over RC Lens. That Eamonn must be opening the Christmas presents by yourself.
I'm being attacked by a bag of spinach. Do you know when you get a bag of spinach and it's an oversized bag of spinach, and every time you go to reach for it in the fridge, it's like a man eating plant.
I was wondering where you got them mussels from, Eamonn. That's what it is. It's Popeye Donnelly.
Yeah, but Jonathan, I want the listeners and viewers to know I'm advocating we all get our 5 a day.
That's not.
It's very important that this show is an advocate for good health as well. Cheers.
The Burma. He always looks.
5 points today. 5 cans today. Yeah, that's it.
That's what Arsenal does to you, folks. Sorry. As I was saying, we're into the last 16 now, lads, of the Champions League, top of the group. Really, that 6-0 victory over Lens, especially the first half, it could have been even 10. I didn't see that coming at all. But the way we attacked Lens was like what we done in the first half of last season, just completely blitzed them and didn't give them a chance. And then in the first half there yesterday against Wolves was pretty much the same. And I was watching on Sky Sports News the Gillette Soccer Saturday. Paul Merson was watching our game, and every couple of minutes they kept going back to him because it was just chance after chance. He says it's just, you could see he's just the way we were playing was just mind blown. But it's been in the last 16, Eamonn now. What did you make of the game briefly last Wednesday? It was refreshing to get the job done, wasn't it? In that style.
I've watched the game back. Well, I've watched the extended highlights back, of which there were a lot. But I can tell you the story of that game. I was working in Brussels Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I got home. I landed at 7:45. So I was driving home, and for some reason, medium wave has come back on my radio. So I have BBC 5 Live again, and it's only I only live 6 kilometres from the airport. So in the short drive home, we went from 1-0 up to 4-0. I was all kind of keyed up to go home and watch the second half, and I said, Jesus, I did watch the second half. Look, Lens made a mistake. Look, I'll tell you what, the Champions League is a different competition, but you can see why lower ranked teams in the top flight in England come and park the bus against us, because Lens didn't, and look what happened.
Yeah, agree with you.
Our combination play was good, you know. Martinelli was unplayable that night, you know.
Yeah, wasn't he? Yeah. His goal was incredible in the first half as well. Yeah. Matt, your take on the performance from Wednesday?
Yeah, a similar story actually. My daughter was trying to watch the game and her broadband was down. And by the time she got a reception, we were 4-0 up.
It's like telepathic, you and Eamonn, you know, your life.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it was fantastic performance. Like almost a complete performance where you just stand back and you go, wow. It was brilliant. Really, really good. Great, like you say, great to have the top place secured. It means they can, you know, don't have to worry now to February in relation to it. You know, get hopefully an easier draw. There's no easy draws in the Champions League. Simple as that. But might give us the opportunity to progress a bit further. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Martinelli, like you say, was absolutely unplayable. You know. But yeah, Lons. You don't see that in the Premier League. You don't see teams in the Premier League giving you that kind of space and everything else. You just don't. It's a different game altogether. The French league, I suppose, wouldn't be the best league. It wouldn't be in the top 3 or 4 leagues in Europe. But Jesus, it was such a walk in the park. It was absolutely beautiful. And just to cap it off at the end, getting the 6th goal. You know, I think we were the first team in Champions League history to be 5-0 up at half time.
Yeah. Sorry, like I didn't know that. Yeah.
So no, brilliant performance. Absolutely delighted with. Yeah, absolutely delighted.
I know our very own Martin Stumville and Polish Derek had their box there, and it looked
I saw the pictures. Yeah.
What a game to go to as well. You know, it's great, free food and drink. That gorgeous tash he's got going on, done us proud.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
No, look into the next. It's great, top seeded now as well when you're being top as well. So bring it on. The Champions League is coming home, lads, at last.
Let's hope.
And I've put the mockers on. Okay, it brings down to goal and player of the month for November, lads. I've gone for goal of the month first. Alexander Zinchenko versus Burnley, Mr. Zanagi himself. What a finish. I go to you, Matt. Your goal of the month for November?
Yeah, I have two written down actually. One of them is the Zinchenko goal. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
he took it beautifully. It's very, very hard to keep that on target like that, and he placed it perfectly. Jesus against Lens. I thought it was a brilliantly worked goal around the box. Brilliant from Saka in the build-up. And I think that was a phenomenal goal as well. So, but yeah, I think for me, Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko was a brilliant take. Really, really good take, and very, very difficult to control the ball like that. You know.
Yes, like a scissor kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
As well. Eamonn, goal of the month for November.
I'm going for Kai Havertz. I am. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because the more and more I look at that winner against Brentford, first of all, what it meant.
Yeah.
Let's start there. But second of all, if you freeze frame the picture when the ball is at Bukayo Saka's foot as he's just about to cross it, Havertz is hiding the way a good player should be. So we always used to say when we were coaching forwards in Gaelic football, you have to make the defender go blind. You have to go invisible and then become visible. So what he did was he made himself invisible. So as I remember, you said Godos went to sleep. It wasn't that. It was that Havertz hid, right? And in the split second, Godos was trying to find him. The timing of that. So then it's up at Bukayo Saka's foot, and he can only get that to the nearest 5 centimeters. That cross. It's like it was a golf shot. You know, I mean, he's arced it around right exactly into where Havertz wanted to be. It was a brilliant piece of telepathy and the execution. Okay, I know it wasn't the sweetest finished header because he can only put it one way, but his movement and Saka's execution. I mean, I defy anybody to just watch that goal again and freeze frame it just as it's on Bukayo Saka's foot. And you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to go for that one. And also for the significance of it. For 2 significances. One, it seems to have liberated Havertz completely.
Yeah.
And two, it got us the bloody 3 points that we wouldn't have got. You know.
Yeah. We had that conversation the week before, actually, Eamon, about Havertz saying he needs a goal. Right. He needs a goal just to give him that bit of belief. And and it's given him that belief. He did a couple of beautiful things actually as well in the Lons game.
Yeah.
He did a beautiful cut into the box. Beautiful piece of work, So it's actually given him some sort of a boost now as well.
There you go, man. That particular piece of work that you're referring to, would he have done that had he not scored against Brentford? I don't think he would.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. It's given him that little bit of a confidence, So it's great to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and I hope Arteta sees something in the lad, and he's got the instinctive there in around the box, So it has given him that boost as he kicks on now. The Christmas period gets another 1 or 2 for himself. Yeah. Player of the month, lads. I think I'll go for Declan Rice. I think he's been pivotal in November. Pushing us on, particularly through the back end of the Brentford game, the last 10 odd minutes or so, he was the driving force to get us, he wasn't taking a draw, and Eamon mentioned that last week on the show. I'll go to you, Eamon, for your player of the month for November.
I'm going to go for Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
He has stepped up another level again. He's getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't know whether it was you, Matt, you were a couple of people with me, but there was one ball came out to him on the right wing, to the left as we looked in the first half. And he was in a foot race, right? And we had him one-on-one for a split second. It was before they had enough players coming over. But he had the audacity and the quickness of thought in a foot race to get there and step over the ball and come inside before, it's one thing doing step overs when you've loads of time. He did this in the middle of a top speed foot race. It was incredible, and he's really kind of, again, I said it on last season's podcast, on one of the podcasts, he's the first player I've seen in years that the crowd goes silent when he gets the ball. Right? Because it's almost an expectation that he's going to do, And I just think he stepped up the level and drove us on. He's a very determined boy as well,
He's hungry.
I think personally I'm going for him for player of the month. But we've had a lot of good shifts. I mean, you wouldn't argue with Declan. So good.
Matt, your player of the month for November?
There's a few, really. I agree with both of you. In relation to Rice and Saka. We spoke about Saka a couple of weeks ago, saying how he's back, how he just seemed to have maybe gone off a little bit, along with Odegaard, but they're both back very, very strong. I want to give it to somebody who is another 8 out of 10 week in, week out, and will very rarely get the plaudits, but solid as any other player on the pitch. Gabriel, I think. Yeah. Between him and Saliba gets a lot of plaudits game by game. I just think Gabriel goes unnoticed almost because Saliba's so good. But Gabriel puts in an absolutely brilliant shift, game in, week out. You can see the passion when he cleared that ball in the last minute there last week. Just the passion he shows and how desperate he is. I could see it yesterday when that goal was conceded. He was furious that he let that a goal had been conceded. They want that clean sheet week in, week out. And like I say, Saliba will get all the props, rightly so. He's absolutely
not only was he furious, he was the one that the 2 or 3 balls that came into the box in injury time, he put his head on them.
Yeah, absolutely. But he does that week in, week out. He fights and fights and fights. And when he manages to, he riles up all the players. He really, really puts in an unbelievable shift week in, week out. So I'd like to give it to Gabriel. Yeah.
Yes, the defenders never really get a look in for player of the month. So that's a good show. It was a tight one actually between him and Saliba, to be honest, Matt. Yeah.
No, absolutely. But it always is, and you'll see Saliba will always get the props, but Gabriel just seems to go unnoticed.
He does. Yeah, he does a lot of cleaning up, doesn't he? You could say, Gabriel.
for
Yeah,
sure.
and he gets his head in, as Eamon says, when it matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was after such a bad start to November, losing to West Ham in the League Cup and then Newcastle at the following weekend with that VAR. We finished the month quite strongly, and we haven't looked back since, really. Yeah, I think that Newcastle result really gave us a kick up the earth, really, to be honest. It's been a busy show, lads. Would you like anything mentioned about the supporters club or anything you like mentioned?
No, just the Christmas party. If you fancy a nice Sunday afternoon out,
Yeah, plenty going about on that day as well. Yeah, so it should be a good day out. Yeah, victory over Brighton, and then we can all relax down from 4 p.m. onwards.
Will we see you there?
I see Liverpool are 4-3. Liverpool were 3-2 now, 4-3 up now.
They're 4-3 up, pretty. Oh wow.
Chelsea are 3-2 up. Like, I'm just saying, there's no easy games in that league. Bournemouth and Villa are 2-all.
Yeah, it's a good season. I have to say, it's been a really entertaining season. Yeah. As long as Matt says, as long as we look after our own results, that's all that matters, isn't it? It's your fate is in your own hands. I'd like to thank Matt and Eamon for coming on the show this week. As always, lads, we'll have a show on Thursday for the review of the Luton game and looking ahead to Villa at the weekend. So, as always, you can catch our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel. Thanks to Martin, as always. Spotify, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. You can catch us on also. Check out our friends at justarsenal.com, and the River Bar is where we all meet up. So until Thursday show, lads, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, comment as always, and have a good week.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.